What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video I have another unboxing. Aeroclassics, back at it again with their releases and just how good that they can be sometimes. So here we are with another one, and a type that I haven't added to in my collection in quite a long time now. And yeah, last time I would have gotten one from this would have been from like 4 years ago now. So this model in question I have wanted for quite some time, but I never really hunted it down because every time I would find one, it would be super rare and super expensive on eBay. So happy that they announced this bad boy right here, which is the American Airlines Airbus A300 with the chrome livery. First time that one has been done in like, I don't know, 10, 15 years. It's been a long time either way since they last did one, but thankfully we have a new release. It's basically sold out everywhere again now, even though it's only been a week since it was announced, but Aeroclassics does make pretty low quantity, so these things go quick when you only get like 5 per retailer. So this is supposed to be marketed as a blue box, but it's not in a blue box. It's just a white box, just a plain generic Aeroclassics box that they have, which I think my other A300s came in as well. Or no, it was in that Asia Pacific box. So there's a couple of them lying around in my room, but we'll look at that later. But for now, let's unbox this. And here we go for the unboxing of the Aeroclassics 1:400 scale American Airlines Airbus A300 with the chrome livery. As I talked about, this is one of these models that I've wanted for a long time, but I just never really bothered to search for these things because they're super rare, and every time I did find one, it would usually be in like the $200 to $300 bracket. Again, why these things are so rare and so valuable, I don't know, but that I ask the same question with so many models. It's probably the same answer to begin with, so it's not even worth my time asking that anymore. But at any rate, we continue. Aeroclassics logo, nice cutout, which is outlined in blue. In the bottom of the box, there's the old Aeroclassics domain. They really should update that because that domain isn't active anymore to my knowledge. Here's the right side of the box, and there is the item number, which indicates that it is a blue box release, BBX41669. And then we have part of the American Airlines livery, registration, and the tail. The top of the box, 1:400 adult collectible model. And then this side is just blank. And the back of the box is blank. So yeah, very generic box so that they don't get in trouble with licensing and whatnot. So there we go. Now, people have said the chrome isn't exactly perfect, but that's how it should be in real life, especially when the aircraft has flown for so many years. It should have a little bit of like wear and tear on it, and just like natural imperfections and whatnot. So I'm gonna have to, let's grab by the tail here. Oh yes. Wow, it's actually a little more shinier than I thought it would be. Holy cow. Yeah, and it is like super greasy too. My God, this is like the greasiest model I've ever touched and even left residue on my fingers. That is completely new to me. So this must have been just like a really super fresh model or something, but whatever the case is, it certainly worked out. That grease it's certainly something, especially when you get a new release. And it just is super oily, super greasy. Kind of a nice feeling, but at the same time, it just feels weird now. I got a whiff of the new plane smell as I was boxing up the plastic cradle here. So let me do a little bit of this, try to minimize any fingerprints on the polish here on the chrome before I, really get into this review here. So zoom in on this bad boy, and there we go. That is the American Airlines A300 by Aeroclassics, the new 2025 release. Looks awesome already just on an initial glance, and some people were complaining about the wavy wings. And it looks like mine may be a little wavy, but in all honesty, it doesn't look too bad. It would probably help if I had the more direct front profile there. So there's a look at that front profile. That wing looks a little wavy on that side, but honestly not too bad. I was expecting worse because I think it was a Varig example that they did recently as well that had like really bad wings, but this one looks really good. So happy that they fixed that up a little bit. I know that their quality control isn't exactly the greatest, but what can you do? Doesn't look too bad to me, so we'll just go ahead and get started with the review. So I'll raise the camera up just a little bit more so it's more in line with the fuselage. And let's get this puppy started. Let's get this review going. Starting off at the front, there's the gray nose cone, A300 luxury liner titles, and then there's the cockpit windows, nose gear and nose gear door and everything. The wheels do roll, but again, they'll probably fall off if you roll it far enough. L1 door right there, and then there's the American Airlines titles with the white outline and the red colored text. Red, white, and blue cheat line with the passenger windows in the blue cheat line there. There's a very lovely engines. I think these are CF6s if I remember right on the A300s. There's a couple different variants of them. Move towards the midsection there, so there's the wings, no overwing exits there, but you got that giant seam, which doesn't look too bad. And then moving towards the rear of the aircraft, you'll note that the cheat line, it juts up a little bit. That's actually how it is in real life. That cheat line will jut up a little bit, and I even think the cabin also juts upwards too in that rear section there, so you can kind of see it with the passenger windows moving up a little bit. So that's a good detail that Aeroclassics caught there. There's the rear boarding door, and then the registration, November 7083 Alpha, and then the American Airlines tail, which is painted gray. And you also note the American flag up there at the top. Looking good so far. And again, just trying to minimize contact with the chrome so it doesn't get all messy with fingerprints and whatnot. There's the right side luggage door on that side there. And then just on the rear there, ooh, what happened to the gear there? Little paint blemish there on that. Doesn't sit exactly flush either, but not too bad. A couple more luggage doors on that side, and then there's the other side of the American tail. And yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna have to grab this. I could try it like that maybe? I don't know, it might put too much strain on the engines. Bottom of the aircraft, there's the underneath with the stand hole, a couple details and a landing gear. And then I'll grab it just like that to show you the top of the aircraft, which is pretty plain. Just a couple details there, and there should be beacon light printed on there as well. So overall, awesome model from Aeroclassics. And if you don't know the history of these things, these predominantly would fly through Miami on their way to like Latin American destinations. So they were very prominent out of there. And so they originated in New York. They would fly through Miami and then continue on to Latin America. So these things were very prominent if you lived in and around the Miami area and you did a lot of plane spotting back then. American Airlines had quite a few of these things back in the day. And they had these things up until like 2009 as well, which is just incredible to me. So really good chance they, you know, say you have a current Delta livery aircraft right next to an American A300. That's just a crazy time warp right there. I wonder if there's a photo of it out there somewhere. A current Delta livery with an American A300 in the frame as well. That'd be a really cool photo to find. So if anyone has one, please send it in the comments. I'd love to check it out because that'd just be really crazy to see because of that stark contrast. And originally American did have these with just the gray paint, but then Airbus was able to make it to where they could get the chrome on it so that it would look identical to their other aircraft types that they have, since this was obviously their primary livery for a number of years up until they introduced their current livery, now 12 years ago. So that goes to show you how long it's been since that new livery was unveiled. I still remember that, kind of faintly, but still remember it either way. But overall, this is a very lovely model, super happy to have it, and it will become extremely rare and valuable once again, like the other A300s have, because I know Dragon Wings did one many years ago that's like perfectly shiny, and then Aeroclassics, they've done a couple other renditions in the past. So these things are very valuable, very hard to find, so I wish anyone that wants it by now, good luck on finding it. Hopefully you're able to come across one for a good price, because I know, again, these things, they hold their value. They increase in value rather exponentially, so just be prepared for that if you're going to be on the hunt for one of these things by now, if you don't have one yet. With that being said, that is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.